Welcome to yet another CoachbuiltChronicles. The second time with this lovely piece of car design, the Rolls-Royce Dawn, the convertible version, one could argue, of the Rolls-Royce Wraith. And today we're going to dive into what this car, in a way, did to help us with our conversion from the Wraith that we had to Silver Spectre shooting brake. Come up a bit closer if you like. Have a look at this interior. In this case, of course, a very black orientated color scheme with orange touches on secondary and tertiary surfaces. For our donor car, we had something quite a bit more colorful. We'll show some images in this movie. But let's come to the back end of this car. Of course, the essence for a shooting brake conversion. And again, this is of course the convertible version of the Wraith, with a quick sketch of when we started with Silver Spectre. This was the key sketch, so of course we do quite a few ideation sketches, and this is the key sketch that we decided was very interesting and had a lot of British DNA, brand DNA inside of it. Quick peek into the boot. So you see actually a very limited amount of space relative to the size of the car. Of course, this is a convertible, so this is where the roof goes, and this is not present at the Wraith chassis. However, the width of the aperture of the opening is, and we did something quite different to it. And again, I'd like to invite you to come a little bit closer to show you a few of the elements that we didn't necessarily like that much. For instance, the way the carpets are attached to the car, the plastics that we see here and there, and the carpet that is not necessarily overly beautiful. Of course, there are some carpets, flooring here in the boot now of this specific car, but we really pushed the boundaries quite a bit on the interior boot area of Silver Spectre. I'd like to actually invite you to walk around the other side of the car while I close the door here. And especially moving backwards a bit so you can see what we did to the car. So a beautiful dash to axle ratio, which is of course present in the donor car as well. And then really from the A-pillar backwards, we completely redesigned everything. The entire upper car is full carbon fiber. A-pillar all the way towards the back, one single piece of carbon fiber, one of the truly largest parts of carbon fiber I think ever produced for a car like this. Very high fit and finish quality. This was milled out of a solid piece of aluminium, so the DLO, the daylight opening, with a very bold piece of chrome surrounding it, or actually in our case aluminium, it was deliberately not polished. This car obviously is very dark in its bright work, so normally of course the door opening and the larger element of chrome here on the shoulder line is all bright work, and with the Wraith it's quite similar. Again, a very dark car here with the bright work running over the A-pillar towards the other side, being the Dawn rather than Wraith. However, the essence of the cars are the same, so the lower body, the nose is very similar to our car, and our emphasis really was on this effortless, properly British setup. Slightly droopy rear end, obviously taking inspiration from the beautiful heritage of the brand. There is a small third box at the back. So the first box, of course, is the bonnet area. Usually shooting brakes or station cars are two box designs. The first box again being the engine compartment, the second box being the passengers compartment. That little third box we put at the back. And again, we'll show some beautiful video footage of Silver Spectre on top of this. But that third box really is almost the essence of our design work. It's that third box linking to the heritage of beautiful saloons or sedans, depending on where your bed sits. But the beautiful saloons of the Rolls-Royce brand. And we really felt it was necessary to have a little nod to the heritage, the DNA of the Rolls-Royce brand through design. So you'll see that at the back of Silver Spectre. What it does as well is limiting the size, the visual weight of the car. So the C-pillar, A-pillar is the front pillar, B here, that's the C-pillar of a car. The C-pillar could be moved towards the front a bit because we don't want to have it exactly at the rear end because we have that extra third box, and that really helps in the proportional statement of the car. You can see it's a large piece of car design. It's a big car, although it's of course not the biggest Rolls-Royce built. That would be of course Phantom when it comes to the modern times, Phantom 7, Phantom 8, especially the extended wheelbase cars are quite a bit bigger even. Nevertheless, Silver Spectre or Dawn is still a large car, and it's important, especially when pulling the roofline towards the back, creating all that extra volume and surface area to try to diminish it also a bit in the way it perhaps could look potentially too heavy. And that's what we worked on with that solution. So it's A, linking to heritage, B, helping to reduce visual bulk, visual weight of the car, especially in side view. A very heavy C-pillar. Roof is of course now hidden, but every Rolls-Royce, also Dawn, has a heavy C-pillar to protect those sitting at the back. And that's really something, again, a core piece of design DNA from the brand. We really wanted to honor that and make sure that the passengers are protected visually by that C-pillar. They can look out, but those outside cannot necessarily look in and see who's in the back of any Rolls-Royce. And that's, again, an important piece of car design DNA for the brand. We took that forward and we emphasized it by this bold element surrounding it, this metal milled part that I referred to earlier. It's doing two things at the same time. It's, again, showing that heavy C-pillar, but it's also in a way reducing it because it's a very big car, so the C-pillar would be very, very heavy, it being a shooting brake. So the contrasting roof element or DLO element is actually also taking the eye away from the visual bulk of the roof, even though it's pushed in through that third box at the back. So having said that, you can hear that car design is balancing a lot of different things at the same time. And we had a lot of fun working on Silver Spectre shooting brake. Just from an aesthetical point of view, sometimes a bit of a challenge. And actually, interesting to mention, the client initially was very keen actually on having a Phantom 7 coupe as a donor car, and we said, well, let's not do that. That would be actually a very difficult puzzle to resolve with the exact area we just discussed, the visual bulk in the back, the size of that car. It wouldn't really look as pleasant as a shooting brake as the Wraith chassis provided us with. So it's a lot more elegant. Not saying that the Phantom 7 coupe is not a decent piece of car design. It's truly fantastic, but it doesn't really invite one to work on a conversion such as a shooting brake conversion. And that's what the Wraith chassis, in this case Dawn, really did help us with. And the elegance, the slightly more youthful stance of the car, the body lines, the surfaces, the skin of the car are a little bit less architectural in Dawn and Wraith, and that truly helped us with getting the sculpture right for Silver Spectre. So thank you again for tuning in. You've learned a bit more about Silver Spectre. We'll dive into some of our previous projects a bit more actually in coming videos. So please do make sure you tune in, hit that bell, make sure you are subscribed to our channel if you don't want to miss any updates, and see you for the next one.